amazing. We are here in Metro Nashville, in North Nashville, particularly in the Buchanan Business District. It's a beautiful morning. I want to take a picture or take a shot of the streets up and down. I believe we are in the 37, check that side down there. I believe we are in the 37208 zip code. And ironically, the National Scene, about a year or so, 2 years ago, came out with an article where it was released publicly that the 37208 zip code at one particular time in America's history, in like the 80s and 90s, was like the highest crime rated area per capita per zip code. And so I say that to say this is once was a thriving economic community, and I say humbly, that transformed into a higher crime community. And I want you to look at just the revitalization going on, because there is a new tax base coming in. And no dishonor to the previous tax base, the original tax base, but with new tax base, there's always new revenue coming in. So one of the first things I want to show you is the new paved roads. This is called infrastructure development. If you want to capture the roads real quick, over here, the roads are nicely painted. First of all, we have sidewalks, nicely painted. We have our hazardous signs. These things are very essential for public safety, and this was not here, with all due respect, humbly. And ironically, this budget was approved and was in the works, and I do give respect to the Metro Mayor's Office and the Council, because once the funds were approved, easier said than done, but it does take time, whatever time that is, for that money to actually be released, allotted into its respective districts and neighborhoods. So I know it takes time, and I know this funding was approved a long time ago. Ironically, the funding of being approved and the actual development of the infrastructure is happening as the area is being revitalized economically. We're coming from a low-income, moderate-income community into your more middle-class community, and we have revitalization of the buildings, the infrastructure. If you look at the properties here, the properties are being redeveloped and remodeled. And this is happening all over the country. I believe it's 18 cities across the country under HUD are going under these revitalizations. I believe it's Title 6, Hope 6. I'll look into it. I did an article about it a few years ago. But we're going to see what we can do to capture some of the residents in the community, talk about what they're experiencing. There's been the COVID-19 that's hit here. The tornado actually hit this community really hard back in March. And then also there's demonstrations and protests going on in regards to race relations. So we're gonna see what we can capture. Let's get out here and do it. Let's check it out. Real quick, not a big deal, but we are in near historic Jefferson Street, North Nashville. And I just wanna show you just an idea of the house right here. Just wanna show the property. And what's going on is, again, changing of demographics, changing of the income. And so these are what you call, some people call it gentrification. Let's look at the house real quick. Some people call it gentrification. Others call it revitalization. But ultimately, it's a deal between the region and the municipality and a said corporation or business coming into an area based upon an agreed upon tax and financial structure. And they're bringing in jobs. Traditionally, they're higher wage, higher income, higher skill positions, and they're bringing them into the city. And residents, a lot of times these companies may be relocating from another location, maybe consolidating from several states, whatever have you, and they're bringing their employees with them, and they're also promoting the fact that they're bringing X amount of jobs to the market, to the city, which brings other labor and workforce individuals from our surrounding areas as well as that immediate city to the area. And what happens is, when people feel that there's jobs coming in, sustainable wage jobs, people want to move into a neighborhood that's close, where they're able to live, work, and play all at the same time. And so traditionally, a low-income community gets targeted first, because from a capitalistic perspective, it's always good to buy low and sell high. And so this is a very great property, but obviously this was not here a few years ago. And we're going to go ahead and get down here and see if we can capture some things. As you know, we on the scene. We got brother Eugene live and direct.
sir.
First of all, good morning. What is going on this morning, if you don't mind me asking, and why is it so important?
Okay, well, right now we're coming together as a community to do community work for cleaning up our own community, opposed to waiting for somebody else to do it. And then, we just had Juneteenth. That's our holiday, so we chose to come up our own business street to clean up behind our own selves, because we should have been having a celebration for our own holiday. So I feel like it was the best idea for us to come and clean up behind our own self.
What does that symbolize for young men and young women that are looking and watching, or maybe hearing about what you're doing?
Well, the best message I can give is for us to be willing to clean up behind our own self, because what you see really plays with how you feel and how you go about your day. Because if you're in a dirty environment, you have this I don't care attitude. But if you're willing to clean up and see something that you don't put your work behind, it gives you a better perception about how we're supposed to live opposed to how we live.
My last question, what's going on with this shirt here, and where can people find out more information and get involved?
We the Brothers Roundtable. If you want to find us, you can find us on Facebook under the Brothers Roundtable, or you can go up under the Black Family Talk Show, which is on Facebook as well, is where we do our own media.
And as well, last but not least, you also are the author and came out with the book recently. Tell me a little bit about the book, if you don't mind, and where people can find the book and possibly purchase.
Okay, the book is called The Creator's Work.
Creator's Work.
And it's on Amazon, and I also got it at a Keebalon. So if you really want to interest yourself in going back to how nature came about, opposed to what man tells us the world is, that's a great book for the family.
That's a conversation we can get into. It's going to take us a while.
Oh, yeah.
I know we got to get back to work here, and I'll put the links down there as well for your book. Thank you so much for what you're doing in the community.
Appreciate you.
More than welcome, and congrats in advance for your continued success.
Thank you, sir.
More than welcome.
Appreciate it.
And there's this part over here. We're going to go across the street.
How you doing?
Great, yourself?
Doing good, appreciate it.
We're going to hold hands and cross the street. Let's capture that over there if you don't mind. Actually, no, we're gonna stay on this side of the street. We went to the crosswalk.
Okay, I'm gonna go back now.
Before the conversation. So this is my man, Supreme Chopper, Andre Southall. If you want to walk and talk to me, please. We gotta keep moving. And boys, y'all can come to the front up here. Y'all can lead the way. Andre Southall, huge mover and shaker in the community, both from a cultural, political, and economic perspective. So, another commercial development. And let's look down this street here. So as you can see, this is a clear, nice shot. And we're about 3 to 5 minutes from a LL. What's going on with you? Huh? No, we don't. We don't have. We're trying to find some gloves. I get these boys to pick up some things. Okay. I can get you down there. Okay. 3 to 5 minutes from downtown. Prime location. I believe this is the historic Slim and Huskies is where? Right here, that's right.
So there's actually two. So this one is the dine-in, and they have outdoor dining. But this building over here, this is the rollout. They do internet orders and Postmates, stuff like that.
Yeah. I gotta get you on camera, JP, but I gotta be respectful to Larry to get these gloves.
Yeah, get there.
You gotta say thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
So as the camera's going, I have 2 movers and shakers with me, mentors in my life for a long time, before I even got into the camera situation. And here we are today. And this is what it's about. It's a very strong subject matter, especially at a time like this, dealing with, I say humbly, dealing with race relations, dealing with health crisis, and dealing with economic crisis at this time. It's not about that. It's not necessarily about what one has accomplished, but these are 2 highly educated brothers doing exceptional work in education and workforce development I want to get they thoughts real quick on the climate right now, if you don't mind, if you're open to do it.
I'm ready to go.
Oh, you know, brother Jonathan Parrish, long-time friend, long-time spiritual teacher, very patient with me because I ask a lot of questions and I go through every angle and he'll be patient, allow me to be loquacious, and then we'll come right back around.
Look that up, family. Loquacious. Look it up. All right.
You know, be loquacious. JP, especially being an educator, working with youth. If you don't mind me asking, what is the most critical thing for parents, young adults to keep in mind right now, in a broad question, during this time when it comes to race relations, economic and health disparities based upon things I feel will be outside of our control with COVID. There's a lot of people sheltering in place. It's a lot of, it's a different system and structure process going on right now. Just for someone that is mindful, you know, what are some of the nuggets that young folks can take with them right now, parents can take with them, and there's a lot going on?
Very broad question, brother. And so, always you want to begin with building self, right? And so, young people, if you're not being properly built or fortified with your family for whatever reason, there could be reasonable reasons why they are not able to build you up in the way that you need. Your job to yourself is not to stop there. You've got to surround yourself with people that bring light and energy to you, and that you bring light and energy to them. You've got to have that exchange. And so that's how you grow. So growth and improvement is your forever, everyday goal. You want to be better today than what you were yesterday.
That sounds like a growth and improvement. That sounds like a personal accountability thing. Really, I mean, your parents are great, your friends are great, but that's something that you have to individually choose to do. Correct me if I'm wrong?
You're absolutely correct. It's the responsibility of our parents to help shape us and guide us, but it's our responsibility to ourselves to make sure that it happens for ourselves. And so our parents are guides, they're coaches, but not all coaches are equally skilled. So the reality is, as a player, you got to learn the game, and that game is actually first master itself. So get your financial education. Please learn how to control your emotions and your words, your thoughts. Please, because the way that you think and feel is going to translate into the way that you speak, and it's going to change the way you behave. And if you're not liking the results of your behavior, your outcomes, chances are you need to roll it back and see, how am I talking to myself? Am I saying to myself things like, oh, I can't, I won't, or it's too hard, or blame me? No, fam. No. Sure, there's difficulties for everybody out here, but you can't depend on someone else to save you. You got to do work to put in for yourself. And then get those around you, those advisors, those coaches, those supportive friends, family. Please get mentors, and as you get a mentor, get a mentee. I don't care if you're 7 years old. There's somebody that's 5 years old that can learn from you, right? So those three, the mentor, your set of peers, your mentees, you got to build that group of folks around you such that y'all help feed each other mentally, spiritually, morally, financially.
I'm going to shout out Brother Maurice Sparks and Brother Nehemiah Hardaway as well while we're here. This is a powerful brother speaking, and this is how Jonathan speaks. It's a lifestyle, but we have actually intentionally sat down several times throughout the year and actually broke things down. I still have a video that we have not published with Superman and the Krypton and breaking that down. I still have it, and but I'm just saying in regards to this is the accountability that we give to one another, because we all have our lives and our individualities, but at the same time, we're expected as best we can to continue to grow individually so that when we come to the table, we can move cohesively, because we've at least tried our best to take care of our personal. And everybody's perfect, you know what I mean? But we are that open, and that's basically what I feel he's taking for a young man and for the younger folks. Yes, we want to look up to our parents, and yes, we want to follow, but at the same time, life experiences have gotten us to a certain point to where at some point, we have to make sure we continue to do our thing and grow, and connect to mentors and teachers and leaders to make sure you're being properly guided. So thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to leave, any parting words of wisdom, anything of that nature?
I do. I want to leave a visual to help you see yourself. See yourself as a prince growing into a king. and then give yourself a royal education and act like a king. So what does a king have to be considered king? I'm sure we would all agree that he has to have a castle, a home, right? So you gotta have some real estate. I'm sure you agree that a king has some type of troops and a moat for defending that home. You gotta have that. But in any kingdom also has its own way of doing things. This is its own culture. Develop your culture and stick with it, right? But also kings have allies and they have advisors. So you really are not by yourself, but you're responsible to something. And so take your advisors, learn from them, but make the decision and be responsible for the decision yourself. And then that's giving you the basis for growing your kingdom, King.
Thank you so much for the words of wisdom.
Yes, sir.
I know you're doing your thing.
Yes, sir.
Congrats in advance for all the continued success in your personal life, career, to you, your family, your loved ones. And definitely see you at the top.
Hey, same to you, brother. Keep growing. I see you doing wonderful stuff.
I'm learning from the best. That's all I can say.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right, we're going to keep it moving here. And again, Slim and Huskies right here across the street. They just expanded into, I believe, the airport. And I think they're down in Houston as well. 3 brothers from Tennessee State University up the street here doing great things. We're going to go ahead and keep moving. Let's go.
Post some of them on the Brothers Roundtable Facebook page
Yes, sir.
And Instagram.
and Instagram.
Yeah.
Underground.
I'm gonna post some on my page, Ken Taylor.
Can't tell. I'm gonna send you a friend request.
Send me one.